Hey, have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When CJ and I were trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps that people like to listen to? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use too. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. We use Anchor because we live over an hour away and it brings us together as if we're in the same room. The sound quality is better than Skype and more reliable too. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing so, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join us and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
We will not be held responsible for any hearing impairments or damage caused to you from excessive exposure to this sound.
Hey CJ, remember that one time?
Oh yeah, it was fucking epic.
You're listening to
Remember That One Time.
The Inappropriate Storytime Podcast.
And these are not your mama's fairy tales.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Remember That One Time with your hosts, Chris
and CJ.
And today we are going over remakes, remixes, and redos. Kind of an episode of If It Ain't Broke, Don't Fix It. I will have some of my stories of my top remixes. I've got songs and not really specific movies, but an issue that we've been seeing with movies is a topic I will stand on my soapbox, which is not something I often do. But something I feel passionately about, so that'll be fun.
Get ready.
Right? And then CJ has her stories. Do you want to go first, or do you prefer that I do?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
So
Kill it.
I put my my music stuff first. So, and these are not in any kind of order. I just kind of jotted down some that I thought of off the top of my head. So first on my list is Take It Easy by Travis Tritt, originally recorded by the Eagles. I love the remake. I honestly, this is so embarrassing. I didn't even know it was an Eagles song until I was probably in my early 20s. But
it was flipped with me. I never knew Travis Tritt did it until recently.
Yeah, he did it in 94, 95. And so I grew up jamming to stuff like that. And I'm sure the whole reason my dad loved that song is because he loves the Eagles. And that's probably why he was listening to it. But I had no idea till just a few years ago. So there was that one. So I have I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Mark Chestnut, originally recorded by Aerosmith. Barf. Kill me now. Aerosmith knocked it out of the park with this. And Mark Chestnut never should have touched that song. He made me wish that song had never been written. It was so bad. I don't even know who thought it was a good idea, who thought that it was okay to put it on radio. It's bad.
I had no idea that even existed, and I'm really glad that I was spared.
Do not look it up. Do not.
Don't plan on it.
Do your ears a favor. Do not look it up because it will make you want to kick babies. It's so bad. So then I have Piece of My Heart by Faith Hill, originally recorded by Janis Joplin. I love the Faith Hill version personally because I just can't take Janis Joplin's raspiness. I know I'm raspy right now, but I have an excuse. I'm sick. But she just sounds raspy all the time, and she makes me want to clear my throat till the postnasal drip goes away. It's just
she's an acquired taste.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's just not my cup of tea. I have two that are probably really unpopular opinions. There's probably a very distinct people on this side and people on the other side of these two songs. So the first one is I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, originally recorded by Dolly Parton. Nothing tops the original on this one. There is not a sound in the world sadder than hearing Dolly Parton, America's sweetheart, crying. Like that's the saddest thing ever.
Yeah,
It's
this
just
one is actually on my list as well.
is
Was
it?
I Will
Oh
Always
my
Love
god.
You. Yeah, it's on my list because when she goes into the middle of that song and is saying what she wishes for him, and when she
Yeah.
gets to the point saying, and most of all, I wish you love, like I will sit in the middle of a
Ugh.
crowded mall on Black Friday and start crying. Like I don't give a shit what
Yeah.
I'm doing, where I'm at when I hear that. I am done. I am toast. The
Yep.
end. Nothing will top it.
Like you made Dolly Parton cry. Like you should just burn in hell. I mean, nobody makes Dolly Parton cry. That's heinous. That's a heinous crime. You don't do
Well,
that.
it's about her like best friend and the guy that got her started in the business, Porter Wagner.
Yeah.
He Yeah, it's a beautiful story between the two of them. Like she's a really good person and he was kind of a dick for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should take a look into that. It's a very interesting story behind it. Doesn't make it any less like heart-wrenching though.
Yeah, just oh, it gets me. It gets me every time, man, right in the feels. Um, so the second one is another Dolly Parton song, Jolene. The White Stripes did it. Obviously, Dolly was the original on that one. No words needed. You just don't upstage Dolly. Although I will say I did enjoy the White Stripes rendition. It just doesn't do it like Dolly does. And there's one version that kind of comes close, and it's the version with Dolly and Pentatonics.
Pentatonics.
That one is awesome. It's
Yep,
not
that's
quite the original, but it is awesome.
well, yeah,
So
she's singing with them, which makes it better.
yeah,
Now, one that it just came to mind that I didn't think about until now. It just recently came out. Dolly covered Shine by oh, who did it?
yeah,
Dun, 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 dun. I can't Collective Soul.
yeah.
Yeah,
That wasn't recent though. That was
wasn't recent.
no, she did that a long time
Oh,
ago.
well, it was recently discovered by me.
Okay.
Like I just recently discovered that then. But yeah, she covered Shine, and for it being an alternative rock song from the 90s, like she killed it.
Right.
Surprisingly. But then again, everything she touches is gold. So,
Yes, yes. And that just made me think of this one just for honorable mention because I've actually never heard the original, but Johnny Cash Hurt.
okay, that's on my list too.
Is it? Which
It
one do you like
is.
better?
Well, everybody on this planet likes Johnny Cash's version better because it was done better.
Oh,
I
I've
have
never heard the first one.
Nine Inch Nails. It's
Yeah.
definitely a different take on it. Like it was written by Trent Reznor and it was like a very personal song to him. I actually found a quote because I remember reading about it before, but Nine Inch Nails frontman Trent Reznor was quoted saying, I listened to it and it was very strange. It was this other person inhabiting my most personal song. Hearing it was like somebody kissing your girlfriend. It felt invasive. Reznor also hailed Cash's cover as a great honor, saying, having Johnny Cash, one of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time, want to cover your song, that's something that matters to me. It's not much what other people think, but the honor that this guy felt it was worthy of interpreting. Cash said afterwards that it was a song that sounded like one he would have written in the 60s, and that's wonderful. So even Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails that wrote the song agreed that Johnny Cash did it better than he did.
Shit, that's intense. Have you seen the video?
I
Johnny
don't even
Cash's
want to talk
video?
about that.
You what?
I said, I don't even want to talk about that. Like, I don't want to cry tonight. Thank you, though.
Oh God, it's so good.
It
Like
is.
seriously, if I hadn't known that it was a cover, I would have thought that he wrote it for himself, about himself. Like, and it came out, I think it came out either right before or right after June Carter died. And
Yeah.
I mean, and he died like right after her. I mean, I think 4 months in between them.
Yeah, it was
And
very
so it was
close to
just
the
like,
end.
yes, very, very close. And you could tell in the video. I mean, he was just on his last leg. It was like everything he could do to do that
Yeah.
video, but it was so freaking good.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I remember watching my dad cry watching that video.
Right?
Yeah. It was like that and watching Walk the Line. For some reason, Johnny
Oh,
Cash just does it to him.
oh, I need to go watch that movie.
I know, it's been a
again
long time.
for the millionth time. I have it on DVD. It's just, I've watched it 10.2 million times. I love it.
Not as much as Remember the Titans in 2006. Fuck me.
Yeah.
So sick of that movie. I will never watch it again. Like, I swear not to. I will break any copy that comes into my apartment.
Oh my God.
Well, anytime we had any sort of substitute teacher, oh, guess what we're watching today? Remember the Titans. Hey, sunshine. I'm done.
I
So
love
done.
that movie. It's my favorite, or one of my favorites.
Sit down, local shrimp house.
Yeah. So sorry that I stole two of your songs.
Yeah.
Need to like pause so you can like find some more to replace them. I don't know.
No, I've got more. We're good. I just should
Okay.
have like actually read your list a little like more.
Well, I didn't read
yeah.
your list, so I'm
It's whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So I have one last song. So
Good.
okay.
Fucking
So
with you.
There She Goes by Sixpence None the Richer, originally recorded by The Laws, I guess. I'd never even heard of them. I did not know that this was a remake till about an hour ago, honestly, for being 100% honest.
Mhm.
It's a tie for me, actually. I like both of them. They're both equal. They're both equally good, I think.
Mm.
Do you have an opinion on that one?
No, I've never heard the original.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're both good. I like them both. So
I take it. I take your word.
yeah. So do you want to do your song?
Yeah, while we're doing while we're doing music.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. One that came into mind since you stole two of mine anyways. Shit, did I just lose it? Don't do this to me, brain. Fuck. Oh, because for some reason when you were talking about Sixpence None the Richer, around the same time that was released, there was also a song by the Cranberries. Shit, what is the name of that song?
Linger?
No, fuck, I hate Linger. And it linger. Ugh. It's the same old. Oh, Zombie. Zombie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one was covered a few years ago by some alt rock band. Here, Bad Wolves, maybe.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day, weren't we?
Maybe.
Wait, no, me and Chris were talking about it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Chris.
I actually think that they did that one justice. I think it sounded pretty good. They, of course, changed the date from it's the same old thing since 1915 to it's the same old thing in 2016.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that. I don't know. I thought it was decent. Along the same lines of that, I keep having things like pop into my brain as I'm talking, and then when I go back to them, they're gone. Shit. Oh, Bad Company. Five Finger Death Punch redid Bad Company's song Bad Company, and I actually think Five Finger Death Punch did a better version of it.
Well, I don't have an opinion on that one because I've never heard either one of them.
Okay. How about Metallica's version of Turn the Page instead of the original by Bob Seger? Now, honestly, I like them both in their own right. There's not an either or on that one.
I said I bet they're very different.
Not incredibly different. They both have the same kind of pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Metallica's is a little bit faster, but it doesn't have the like soulful saxophone in it that the original does too.
Oh, that's the best part.
I know. Well, speaking of soulful saxophones, that's another one of mine. Foo Fighters version of Baker Street instead of Jerry Rafferty's. Now, Jerry Rafferty's version does slap with that sax, especially in the beginning, that womp 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 wow. It does slap, just not as much because that sax is taken over by a sweet electric guitar, and we all know how great Dave Grohl is on that guitar.
Yeah.
So Foo Fighters definitely improved that one for me. Speaking of Metallica's, their version of Whiskey in the Jar instead of Thin Lizzy their cover of Thin Lizzy's Whiskey in the Jar. It is based on an Irish folk song, and it's the most badass Irish folk song you will ever hear. This is why you'll catch me at the red light with my windows down yelling Masha Ring Dama Dulaba Da or whatever. I don't even know. They're gibberish, but it's fun.
That sounds like you're like churning up demons or something.
We might be. I don't know. Churning up demons with Metallica is what I do on a Thursday.
I mean, it's chill.
Right. See, Blinded by the Light. This one, a lot of people don't know is a cover. Most people are familiar with Manfred Mann's Earth Band's version of it, the one you hear on the radio all the time. But it was written and originally performed by Bruce Springsteen. And Springsteen has a few more choruses to it. Like there's a lot more words to that song, which is already like a 7-minute song as it is. But it's just the way it was written is beautiful with his... Springsteen is a master lyricist in my eyes anyways. And that one is one of my absolute favorites with the way he can dance with words that rhyme, but not really. And it makes a little bit of sense, but it doesn't. But it makes sense to your soul, not your brain. I don't know. That sounds a little weird, but if you look at it, pull up the original "Blinded by the Light" by Bruce Springsteen, and that is far superior in my eyes. Let's see. There was
in your eyes or in your ears.
Oh, in my everything. I don't know, dude. Springsteen's still hot. I would let him in my anything. Yes. Okay. So Lacuna Coil. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Nope.
They're a female-led rock band, metal maybe. They covered Depeche Mode's "Enjoy the Silence." A lot of people have covered "Enjoy the Silence," but I think Lacuna Coil's version is the best of the group. Depeche Mode's version is great, but the female vocal on it just makes it so much better. And speaking of female vocals making something better, Alice Cooper's "Poison" was covered by ex-lead singer of Nightwish's ex-lead singer Tarja Turunen. She covered "Poison," and that is the version that I prefer to listen to now because she just wails on it. It is beautiful. Of course, a classic Motley Crue's version of Brownsville Station's "Smoking in the Boys' Room" is always my go-to. And anything Ghost covers is instantly better than the original. Go listen to Missionary Man is a song that was released by the Eurythmics. And they put their own spin to it. And yeah, if you have problems with anything Ghost covers, fight me. So that's where I am on music. I have many opinions on that. And that could go on for a solid 6-hour podcast with me. But I'm going to... Yeah, not do that.
Maybe do that one on your station head thing.
Yeah. Actually, that's where I got most of these is because I did do a station head episode where I played my playlist for that day was both versions of songs. So I would play Springsteen's version of Blinded by the Light, and then I would play Manfred Mann's version of Blinded by the Light as well.
Gotcha.
And so that was a fun episode. Lately, what I've been doing over at Station Head, by the way, if you're ever just sitting in your car or sitting at work and you want to listen to a really cool jam playlist and hear me talk every once in a while, you can tune over to the Station Head app. It's something you'd have to download. My Station Head channel is, I don't remember right now, Chris 10 Rocks maybe? I don't remember. But you can find that on my Facebook page or probably through Remember That One Time's Facebook page as well. Excuse me. Edit. What I've been doing over there lately has been whatever today's date is. For example, January 1st, I am looking and doing some research to find things that happened in rock history and then finding songs that correlate to events that happened in today's rock history.
Sweet.
So that's a thing that I've been doing. If that sounds interesting to you and you want to listen to a playlist, check out Station Head. While we're here, before we get into movies, then also, you can always, of course, catch us on Anchor, on SoundCloud, and iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. And if you're listening to us, you pretty much know where to find us. You can always interact with us on social media. We're pretty active on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook mostly. If you ever want to send us any of your stories that you want us to read on, quote unquote, on air, or if you want to send us hate mail, feel free to. You can do that. Slide into our DMs in any of the social medias. Shoot us a Facebook message, or you can always drop us a line at our email. That is 2 girls 1 terriblepodcast@gmail.com. And also events coming up. We have got the we're going to have to like really sit down and like write out rules and regulations and what's going on, but we've got a cookout coming up, a cook-off coming up in March. We finally have a date for it. That is March
21st.
21st. March
Saturday,
21st.
March 21st. I am so excited.
Yes, CJ is so pumped. I had like so much shit to do the other day, and she was like blowing up my phone. She was like, we're going to do this, and this is going to happen, and I'm going to plan this, and I've got the Facebook invite up, and is this day good? And I'm like, you need to calm down. Lady.
Okay, Taylor Swift, I can't calm down. First of all, have you met me? When have you ever known me to be calm?
I know, but it's like, it is months in advance, and just one day at a time, lady.
No,
Then
I don't live my life like that.
I know, right? This is not how you operate.
No.
Then after that, just a month after that, we have our second annual Beer Olympics. Rules and regulations and everything is up on the invite page on Facebook. You can find that on Remember That One Time's Facebook page as well for both of those events. Those are officially sanctioned events by Remember That One Time hosting.
Yes.
Yes.
We got a good little guest list going on the Beer Olympics. I think we're up to like 20 people that are coming. Well, it's actually more than that, because you know how it is with couples. Like the girl responds yes, and you know that her husband or boyfriend's coming too, but he doesn't respond. So it's like, I think it says 20, but it's really like 26 or 27.
Gotcha. I thought you were going to say that like all of those that have responded have been females with a partner, so it's really 40.
Oh, no, nothing like that.
No. Could you imagine having like 50 people in your house?
Well, that's why I'm not having it in the house. It's going to be outside.
Well, I know, but on your property is what I meant.
Yeah, I think it would be a blast.
Of course you would. You would think it was a blast if there were 750 people on your property.
Yeah. I mean, you remember my engagement party, right? And that was a much smaller house.
I know, Maxie Asger, calm down. You're going to open up your farm to Woodstock. Yes, so those are the events that are coming up. The events are going to happen regardless, but to make it easier to bring these kind of events to you, you can always donate donate like it's going to a charitable cause or whatever, but you can always feel free. Cause. Right?
Yeah.
You can always throw some donations our way on Anchor. Just go to anchor.com and you should be able to find a pretty it's not like a subscription based thing where it's like, oh, $5 a month or anything like that. It's just hey, I've been listening. These chicks are pretty cool. Here's $5. Do with it what you will. I appreciate what you're doing.
So what does our bank account look like right now?
Yeah, that's what I was just pulling up. Our current we got 14 plays on the last episode. That has just jumped up, so that's exciting. We are currently up to $2.78.
Hell yeah.
So almost $3. Once we get to 10, we could officially cash out. Not that we would, but yeah. So
Sweet.
that's fun. And then, let's see, analytics. I don't know if this happened between the last episode and this one, but we have picked up another area for listeners. It's not a different country because they're a part of the U.S., but we now have listeners in Puerto Rico.
Oh. Please
Yes.
tell me we're still number one in Oregon.
Yes. I don't know how. Hang
Yeah.
on. I'm going to have to pull it up on my computer instead of my phone to look deeper into it. Let's see here. Dashboard, anchor, da da da. Go into, so yes, Puerto Rico is in San Juan. 100% listenership in San Juan. U.S., Oregon, 38%. Almost a full 10% over Tennessee. And is it all? Oh,
Weird.
remember how last time it was just Boardman?
Yeah.
We have a listener in Portland.
Wow.
Yeah, moving up to the big city.
I don't really know what to think about that because we are so not Portland.
Well, you know, everyone is welcome to listen to our podcast. We are not we're not specifically for one group of people.
Of course, you're just probably
But-
going to get offended, but it's fine.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if we've ever said anything that's truly offensive. I mean,
I hope
there
we
have been opinions and there's been like your dick smell like cheese, but not enough to get us like me too'd.
I'm searching how far away Boardman and Portland are. 2.5 hours away.
You see?
So it's not like maybe, somebody was listening at work and then listening at home.
Mm-mm. Nope, those are different listeners. Let's see. Tennessee is still second place. Marlboro is our highest. Of course, Chapel Hill's next. We got some Smyrna, Gallatin, Sevierville, Nashville, Hermitage, Knoxville, Unionville, Laverne, Maryville, Crossville, Mount Juliet, Chattanooga, Antioch, Columbia, McMinnville. That's a widespread. Let's see. We've gone down to California now. 16% is now in third, which makes sense. Visalia is the only one that makes sense to me because I know who lives in Visalia, but 70% of our California listenership is coming from Oakland. So we've got Oakland, San Jose, Mountain View, Visalia, Norwalk, and Stockton. So we got some fans up in CA. Then we've got Virginia, Wise, Virginia, Indiana, Fort Wayne. So, and then some of the smaller ones again, Michigan, North Carolina, Ohio, Jersey, Texas, Illinois, Idaho, Wisconsin, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania. So shout out to everyone who's listening. And still, again, if you are in Oregon, we want to know how we ended up all the way across country in your ears. Like, what was it that made you scrolling through your podcast app going, hey, this looks cool. We want to hear about it. And also, if you've got any cool stories, we would love to tell your stories from our awesome Oregon listeners.
Yes.
So that's where we are with that. And on to movies.
Oh, real quick. I was just looking at the title of this whole thing, remakes, remixes, and redos. So totally random. I just thought of a remix. If you want to be the coolest person ever in 1993, get on YouTube and pull up Brooks and Dunn, Boot Scootin' Boogie Club Remix.
Club Remix,
y'all. Look it up.
I don't know how I feel about that. Now, there was a remix that I used to bump all the time that was Closer into Club. So it was a mix of 9 Inch Nails' Closer, which people might recognize more as I Want to Fuck You Like an Animal, mixed with 50 Cent's Into Club.
No.
It was an absolute banger. I
No,
still
dude,
bump to that.
I am looking this up right now. That is
Dude,
not a thing.
it is a thing, and it is a fantastic thing. Closer into Club. It is so good. You've
This
got that
and
like,
that.
you've got that underlying like boom, boom in the background, and then 50 Cent comes in, and it's so good. So good. And there was some sort of, huh?
Can you hear it?
No. It's okay. I can put it in post-production.
Oh
There's
my.
also a Britney Spears Toxic remix. I don't remember what it was mixed with, but it was.
I'm still listening to
I
this.
don't
This
know.
is blowing my mind. What the fuck?
You can find me in the club,
I
bottles
can't
full,
imagine you bumping to this like at
all
all.
day, every day. That is my jam. That, and then there is a remix that they used to have it on Free Beer and Hot Wings back in the day, in between their segments. If you had their VIP membership, you could listen to them on their website. And in between their segments, before they started putting commercials there too, they would just play like hold music in between. And one of their songs that they played in their hold music was a remix of a song called We Know We Know Speak Americano or something like that. But it was remixed with Ray Charles' I Got a Woman, and it was so good. And I still have it on my YouTube playlist. Like, it's so good. And also, that's another thing that I will bring up is that we are now issuing playlists to go along with our podcasts. So about this time next week, about next Wednesday, we should have out a Spotify playlist that will include some of the songs that we talked about. It might have all of the songs that we talked about. I mean, playlists can be as long as it needs to be.
Yep.
And so we'll include some of these remixes too, because I know you're curious.
You have to be.
Yes. So good. But yeah, on to movies.
You want to start this one?
Sure. I guess I can start with my rant.
Oh,
I've got
strap in for this.
Right. Well, I'm going to be that person and go on record and say that even though I am what you would consider a liberal Democrat, I am also 10,000% sick of Hollywood remaking perfectly good classics with women just to be politically correct when there was not anything politically incorrect in the first place. Sure, there are things in movies and music that worked 15 to 30 years ago that wouldn't fly now. And it may... Shit, I lost my thing. Yeah, it wouldn't fly then. And it is kind of cringy to see now with our current mindset, but that doesn't mean that you need to go back and change or remake things. Just keep in mind it was a different time. For example, I adore All in the Family. Now, Archie Bunker's character would get completely skewered by the press nowadays for the things that character said and did. But I swear to God, if they try to remake that with more diversity and make it more PC, I will set this planet on fire and go find a new one. Like, I will rage quit.
On that one.
Yes, I will rage quit. Some examples that we've seen this happen to: Ghostbusters. There was nothing wrong with the original Ghostbusters. It was hilarious. It was a group of guys that got their start on SNL. They were really funny. The movie was perfect. Why, 25 years down the road, we have to completely reboot it with all women just to say, oh, it has women now, so women are being represented. We didn't want to be represented in Ghostbusters. That's some dumb shit. It's stupid. Stop. Same thing with Ocean's 8. Ocean's 11 was a movie that came out in the 60s or so with Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, that kind of thing. It was a decent movie for the time. Ocean's 11 came back and rebooted in the 2000s, something with Brad Pitt and stuff, and it was okay. It was your run of the mill gangster thief movie. And then I think they should have stopped with that, but then they went on and made Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 13. I don't know where they're getting the number 8 from, but they went backwards and now have an Ocean's 8, which is an all-female cast. Again, completely unnecessary. It is not within the realm of the original movies to begin with. It's just there. Nobody needs it. Nobody wants it. Go home. And then Overboard. I don't know if you remember that movie, but it had, huh?
Goldie Hawn?
Yes, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. And she was, yes, they remade it, but they swapped the roles. So Anna Faris is in Kurt Russell's role. So she's this like overworked single mom, and she's like the boat captain, and the guy is the one that's like dingy and spoiled and rich, and he's the one that was thrown overboard. So they swapped gender roles. It's just,
that's stupid as fuck.
It is. It was unnecessary. The first movie was fucking comedy gold. Leave it alone. Even if they were to bring it back in the same gender roles, just don't. Leave it alone. You had to add insult to injury by swapping the roles. That was just dumb. And then lastly, isn't that big of a complaint? I just saw the preview for it a couple of weeks ago, but do you remember the movie in I think it was the year 2000, Helen Hunt and Mel Gibson in What Women Want?
Yep.
It was hysterical. He slipped in the bathtub and then suddenly he could hear women's thoughts. Now, of course, you couldn't really get away with that nowadays. It kind of seems a little like, I don't know. I really don't think it would fly now. But now they switched it to where it's what men want. So now these women can hear what men think instead. So they switched it around 20 years later.
What? They wasted a whole movie on that? We don't have to slip and fall in the bathroom or get electrocuted to know what men want. I know what men want. They want titties and ass.
Yeah. Vagina. Occasionally chicken strips.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, you have to feed them to keep them alive in between.
It's not hard.
Yeah. It's not difficult at all. So I don't know what that is. But they didn't make a reference to What Women Want at all. Like, it seemed like they were trying to pass it off as its own standalone, like this new brilliant thought. And I'm watching this. Yeah, I'm watching this ad and I was like, that's What Women Want. That's what that movie is. That's literally the same fucking movie, except it's now what men want. And then, of course, at the end, it was like, what men want. And I'm like, of course it is. Of fucking course it is. That's the dumbest shit. Go home. I hate it. I hate you. I hate my TV. Throw it out the window. I get irrationally mad at this. So that's the issue that I have with remakes and redos when it comes to Hollywood movies. Just leave it alone. It doesn't have to be remade. You don't have to add any people of color. You don't have to add women instead. You don't have to remake it. Just leave it as it was. And if it wasn't great, you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, like, just if they're worried about, like, meeting some sort of quota about having enough women or enough men or enough minorities, like, make a new movie about a new subject.
Exactly.
Like, are they just running out of stuff to write about?
I think so. There have been so many.
The cast and finding stuff and, throwing some weird shit in there and like, oh, look, it's a new movie. And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, I'm getting really sick of reboots.
Yeah, they just get some good writers. You can think up new shit.
I mean, maybe it's because us millennials, the ones that I really think that we're kind of driving that, because all of the really good shit from the 90s that we're super nostalgic for, they're starting to like notice that. They notice that we're going to pay to relive stuff like that. So that's why we've got the Jumanji series is completely rebooted.
Mm-hmm.
Because growing up, Robin Williams was our fucking hero, and Jumanji was a big part of our life.
Right.
I'm going to speak for everybody. I don't care if you're, sitting in your car going, I don't know who the fuck that is. No, you do. Shut up. This was your life. I speak for all of us. And so I really think that that's what's going on, is they're trying to cash in on our generations of nostalgia.
I guess so.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Let us know your thoughts. Tweet us at Remember That One Time, whether you think that you love seeing the reboots all over again and seeing what fresh new take that Hollywood will put on it with seeing things through the eyes of this generation, or if you think they should just leave it the hell alone. Leave well enough alone. That's the word I was looking for, the phrase. Or if you think they should just leave well enough alone.
Right. There
you are. So, stepping off of my soapbox now, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I don't have a soapbox. I just have a couple of movies that I thought of. So, Beauty and the Beast, obviously, the cartoon is better. The one with the real people in it, no. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not what we grew up with. So I'm just like, eh. But then today's kids will probably be like, I like the one with the, special effects and the real people, and they're going to look back at ours that came out in like 1992 and be like, what the hell is this? The Stone Age?
Right. Well, I've got a creeper confession for you then. I think the prince in the cartoon was hotter than the prince in the movie.
Yeah, true.
Cartoon prince, way hotter.
So true. So true.
Creepy, but true, yes.
Yeah. The Haunting. I like the one from the 90s better. Not to be confused with The Haunting of Hill House, which is actually loosely based on that movie, but it is an awesome show. But yeah, definitely like the 90s version of The Haunting with Catherine Zeta-Jones and, what's his name? The Wilson brother with the crooked nose.
Owen Wilson?
Yeah, him.
I don't even remember it. I'll have to go back and find it.
Yeah, oh my God, and you know what blew my mind? Are you watching, do you watch You on Netflix?
No, you're like the third person that's asked me that this week.
Shit. Well, anyways, if anybody out there listening is watching You, season 2, the girl, the main character, her name is Love. I kept looking at her and I was like, where the fuck do I know her from? She is Nell in The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, okay.
We're sitting there, like me and Chris are sitting there watching it. We're like, we know her. Where is she from? She's fucking Nell.
Oh, well, here's one that just popped into my brain that is definitely far superior and still scares the pants off of me. When you said haunting, and especially Haunting of Hill House, House on Haunted Hill. Yes. So the original is great. Vincent Price is a god among men. It is a great movie, but the remake with Jeffrey Rush, this movie has so psychologically scarred me that if I go to like haunted houses still, if I see anything twitching, I lose my shit. This movie is so terrifying. Prom night, we all came back to my house and we watched that, and people did not leave because they were too scared to drive home.
I remember. I slept in your living room floor the whole night.
Yes, you did. Everybody did. It was so scary. And it is still literally my number one favorite horror movie. And it's still the scariest movie to me of all time. So
yeah, that's in my top 3 for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it came out around the same time as 13 Ghosts, so I put that around there too. But yeah, House on Haunted Hill, the remake is definitely better than the original. Because movies from 1935 are not superior really much anymore. But it's so good. Sorry, continue.
No, you're fine. Still on horror movies, Amityville Horror. I'm sure most people like the original better, but I like the remake better. But it's probably for sentimental reasons because I snuck into a movie theater and saw it after my junior prom.
Oh, there's that.
So that's probably the only reason.
I was gonna say Ryan Reynolds might be a good reason.
Well, yeah, there is some eye candy there. That's good. Um,
Some.
Freaky Friday. I like the original better because I love Shelley Long, and quite frankly, I can't fucking stand Lindsay Lohan. She sucks ass.
Mm-hmm.
She also
Agreed.
looks like ass.
She
Um,
looks like she smells like 3-day-old cheese.
yeah, she probably does. The Birdcage. I like the remake
Oh,
because Nathan Lane and Robin Williams together are comedic gold.
yes.
Gold.
Yes.
Loved
So
it.
good.
Loved it. I mean, I remember I was watching that movie with my grandmother at like age 5. She'd be like, "What do you want to watch?" The Birdcage.
It's so good.
It is. It was an amazing movie. And last on my list is Father of the Bride. Obviously, the remake is better because Kimberly Williams Paisley. Love her. Love
Yes.
her. So that's it. That's all I got.
Wait a second. Her last name is Paisley now. Is she married to fucking Brad Paisley?
Did you not know this?
No,
They've been married for like 15 years.
no, I'm just getting this. Okay, so
What?
she is also the star of one of my favorite movies that I still cannot get Ethan to watch, and it makes me so mad because they make fun of me, him and his sister. It was a made for TV Hallmark movie that played over like 10 nights. It's a
Lucky
very long
Seven?
movie. No, The 10th Kingdom.
Oh, haven't heard of that.
It's about a girl. She is a waitress in New York City, and she's driving her bike home from work, and she hits a dog. Well, when she hits that dog, like it runs off into Central Park, but it goes through this like time portal, and that portal brings her into these other kingdoms. There are 9 other kingdoms that are all based on fairy tales, and it's like turns out that that dog was actually one of the princes of the like fourth kingdom, and he was turned into a dog by the evil queen, and she had to go, and it's like a family drama too because she finds out that she's like the daughter of Snow White and all this stuff. It's a really cute movie, but
I
it's
don't
fucking
understand why they don't want to watch that with you.
because it's like it's literally I think 6 or 7 hours long
What
because
the fuck?
it was a mini series.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it was a movie.
I mean, technically, it is a movie, but it was aired over like 4 days on the Hallmark Channel.
Hmm.
So it was like actually it was probably aired over a week because it was like we're just gonna air an hour a night when it
Gosh.
was originally released. But it's so good. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And there are like quotes in that movie that I still use in my native, like, in my everyday vernacular that people who don't understand where I get my quotes from. And it's that movie. I've seen it so many times. I recently rewatched it at work because I had nothing better to do in my background of what I was doing. So I put that on. It's good. But yeah, Kimberly Williams is the girl that, the main character that hit the dog on her bike. That's what I know her from.
I'm really still blown away that you didn't know she was married to Brad Paisley.
I don't pay attention to who country singers are married to. The only one I know is Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Because Nicole Kidman. That and the whole they're not married, are they? Did Gwen Stefani marry that guy?
No, they're so she's Catholic and they can't get married in the Catholic Church
Oh,
unless she can
because
get her previous marriage annulled instead of being divorced. And that's
yeah.
kind of a problem when you've been married for like 17 years.
Yeah.
So I guess they're fighting with like the Pope or whoever's in charge of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I totally understand that because Ethan's cousin ran into the same problem. They put their son into a Catholic school, but in order to do that, like they had to convert to Catholicism first to even enroll their kid in the school. So they had to convert, and then when they converted, his cousin had to track down her first husband to get him to sign a letter saying that, they're, even though they are divorced, like, he was okay with her doing what it is that he's doing. Like, I'm no longer in their life, and I'm not going to be in their life. And
But
like,
I'm giving my permission for her to live her
Yeah.
life and do what she wants.
yeah, it's
fucked.
the stupidest thing. But, yay Catholicism. So, yeah, they're going through that. Well, I think she actually did get it, but yeah, I see where they're coming from. But I think that's one of the weirdest, stupidest matches on the planet, too, is Blake Shelton.
Dude,
and
tell me about it.
And I know you're on his side and I'm on her side. So.
No, I'm on neither one of them's side. I'm on
Yeah.
Ray Lambert's side.
Yes, there you go. I'm with you on that.
Team
Fuck both
Miranda.
of them. Team Miranda. Yes. It's just weird. Those two genres don't. I don't know.
And there's like pictures of her walking around Oklahoma in like camo stilettos and shit, and I'm like, what are you even doing?
Yeah,
She's like at a fucking, Winn-Dixie grocery store buying toilet paper in fucking Ada, Oklahoma, wearing fucking camo stilettos. I'm like, no. Take them off. Take them off right now. Just stop.
Yeah. She just seems very, very out of place.
Yeah. She seems very plastic.
Yeah. It's strange. Anyways, what did we learn? I learned that there was an original version of The Haunting because I have never heard of that before. So that's something I'm going to have to check into. I also learned that the Beast in the cartoon was way sexier than the Beast in real life because I'm a creep.
Right. I learned that letting someone else sing a song that you wrote is kind of the same as letting someone kiss your girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's awkward.
Yes. And hopefully by next episode, I'll be fucking not sick and I won't sound like a man.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you're going to take this, but I haven't really noticed a difference. I think you sound like you usually do. So,
okay. That's fine.
Yeah, either you sound better or you always sound like shit. Whichever way you want to take that.
It's fine.
Go for it. Next episode, we are going over things that happen only in a small southern town, or at least that we think only happens in a small southern town. If it turns out that you live in LA and you're like, dude, this shit totally happens to me too, let us know. Reach out. But as far as we're concerned, this is shit that only happens in a small southern town, and we're going to tell you about it next episode. And just remember, do you have anything else to add?
That is it.
Fantastic. Well, remember to always say yes to adventures, for they become stories, and in the end, that is all we are. Good night.
Peace.
This concludes our broadcast day. Good night, and God bless America.